Good morning, everybody. This is Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist, here to bring you my talk today on discomfort to growth, which is an interesting one because I was thinking about this this morning and thinking how 2019 wasn't as fabulous as I expected it to be. There was lots of great, amazing things that came through it, but I feel it was quite a discomfort year, spreading myself and expanding in multiple areas to the growth that I've come through. So I feel 2020 is definitely going to have a different edge, and I'm looking forward to sharing some thoughts with you about how to do that. But let's just crack on here. So discomfort to growth. When I looked it up in the dictionary, the noun of discomfort was slight pain, which is quite an interesting one. And the verb was make someone feel uneasy. Someone I suspect is actually yourself as well. The verb was make someone feel uneasy, anxious, or embarrassed. And that's what discomfort actually means. From the dictionary, it was actually quite relatable, and I could definitely see the slight pain of when you are in discomfort, and embarrassed for others as well. But when I looked at what it actually meant to me, the discomfort, which was very similar, was actually when you're unsure of the outcome. For me, I'm a bit of a control freak, as we call it, and it's when I'm unsure about what's actually happening. People say don't sweat the small stuff. So I was in that whole part of I'm really unsure about what the outcome of this truly is going to happen. So I'm in that discomfort zone. It's when it's the unknown and you don't really know what's really going on, which is part of the unsure of the outcome. And what I do a lot of is I listen to my body. I listen to my body tell me what's going on. And when I say listen to my body, it's not necessarily the butterflies that you get when you meet someone new or you do something exciting and that, and you get those little nervy little tingles inside you, and it's more the discomfort of, oh, I don't really know if this is the right thing or not. So my body will actually tell me, my body will give me goosies and give me signs of if this is for me or if this is not. And I've talked about that previously, and I'll go into that on another call about your mind and body linking and how to actually listen to your body. But right now, so for me, discomfort is about when you're unsure of the outcome and you can't control a situation, so you're in that discomfort zone. Growth is when you've actually come out the other side. This is my meaning of growth, is when you come out the other side and you're like, oh, wow, it's more of a relief. It's more of a accomplishment, like I finally got there. I actually achieved it. And that's where I say that your breakthrough actually comes. So when you're sitting in that discomfort zone, it's more a dark to the light. You're in that dark place, you're in there, and you're squeezing through a tunnel. Sometimes that tunnel is so small, sometimes that tunnel is so big, but you're actually working your way through that tunnel. So the discomfort is actually more the tunnel journey. And then you come through the other side and you see the light. I don't know if see the light, the dark to the light, is how you can actually relate it, because you actually come through, and that's where your breakthrough is when you have that growth. Now, Dr. John DeMartini actually says growth is a point at the border of support and challenge. When you're challenged enough and you're supported enough, that's when you truly grow, and that's where your breakthrough is, which is quite an interesting one as well. So we're going for the breakthrough, but we're actually appreciating that tunnel in the way of that journey. So for example of discomfort, I'm sure we've all had discomfort zones, and when I'm talking to you, you're probably like, oh yes, yesterday I had that, and yesterday I had that. And yes, we could be talking about how you've eaten too much at the movies and you've gone to complete discomfort and you've had to let your trousers be released a little bit. There's that discomfort. Yep, that's true. But there's also the discomfort of spending a lot of money on something and you're feeling that uneasy, unsure, is it going to work? So, discomfort can come from spending a lot of money. When you're in a relationship with somebody, there's discomfort. When you're in your social circles and you maybe going to a new university or going to I was going to say out for a restaurant with people you don't know, the Christmas parties where we had that, the environment that you're in, it's going to discomfort from that. You know, I took my dog the other day to a dog park, and I was looking at all these dogs, and I was a little bit like, whoa, look how many dogs. So I was a little bit out of my comfort zone. So I was in that discomfort. I was unsure of the outcome. I had a girlfriend with me, and my dog Ben decided to defend her when the dogs came up, and there was a little bit of ruffle. Hey, thanks for joining. And for me, it was a little bit uncomfortable because I was like, what actually happens here? I was unsure of it. I wasn't the, top dog, the leader with my dog. So I was in that discomfort right then. And I had to break through. And it was a had to break through to that growth level where it was actually not holding me back. And I could just stand there at ease. So there's those things when I talk about a social circle. You could be going to join a new sport or anything along those lines. When you go to a new business or a new job, or you go out with people, or you go to an event and you're going to, this is all discomfort, because for me, I like to know how the room's set up. I like to know how many people are coming. This is just a little bit of quirkiness of me, or OCD as some people say, but these are the things for me. So I like to know that sort of stuff. So that's a little bit discomfort. Who am I going to be sitting beside? All those things. Am I going to be sitting beside someone I really don't want to be sitting beside, because I have all my little quirks that I like to do and lay on my pens, all my coloured pens out in certain ways, and my highlighters, and I'm one of those people that if you'll sit beside somebody who's not one of those people, you do have a little bit of judgment, and they have judgment on you. So there's that whole discomfort is what I'm talking about. So that's your environment you're around. So when we look at what discomfort actually means, and we look at where we're going from the, and I explain the dark to the light because a lot of people actually understand that. And it's not necessarily dark black. It can just be a grey or a cloud or a shadow. Not necessarily the dark space that's so black that you actually can't see the other side of. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about that, but there's different levels of discomfort. Everybody has a different level of discomfort. My daughter recently rang me because she was in a discomfort situation, and it was quite interesting to hear her discomfort to where I was thinking, well, this is no big deal. This is no big deal for this. So your level of discomfort may be somebody else's level of discomfort. And you can't judge other people on theirs, because me being older than my daughter, I've had a little bit more life experience, so I can handle things a little bit differently. Now, I don't always handle them wisely like she does. We handle things differently. Different personalities, different age, different era. But what it is when you have your discomfort, you can't judge others on their discomfort. You just have to best support them the way that you can, that you think that will support them, and challenge them enough, but not challenge them for burnout. So when I talk about discomfort, you've got an idea of what discomfort is. So I'd love everybody right now to think of a time when they have had a discomfort and they're going from discomfort to growth. So maybe you're actually currently in a discomfort zone right now. Maybe you're not. Maybe so. Just take a moment and just think of a time when you have been uncomfortable and in that discomfort, icky situation. Okay. So now that you've got that situation, I'd love you to look at, we've all got that? Yep. Tick, click, click, click. I'd love you to look at how will that serve me by taking action on that discomfort? How will that serve me by doing this task, or this action, or this whatever it is, or going to a new environment, starting university, anything, new job? How will that serve me? That's step one. Step two then is how will that serve others if I do this? How will that serve others if I go out of if I sit in my discomfort and go to step towards growth? How will that serve others? Okay. Then we're looking at, when we serve others, we sometimes have guilt around this. So we go, oh, if I spend all this money on this event, this is going to cause conflict in the family unit. This is going to cause conflict to my partner, to my business world, to my wherever it is. So how is that? So we have a little bit of guilt. So that's why we look at, how does it serve others for me to do this? Okay. Then stop and look at this and go, why am I doing it? So why am I actually doing this task, this mission, this thing that I want to do, am I doing it to prove to others, or am I doing it for myself? Now, when you look at how does it serve me and how does it serve others, to release any sort of guilt also that's in there, you'll be able to see why you're doing it. And it's going to unlock another little program in your mind to go, oh, this is a bigger picture. Then go back to another memory where you've been doing something. So, for example, you may be doing it to prove to others. And then you can go back to another memory of when you were proving something to somebody else. Was it worth it? Was it worth your time and energy? Because it just goes back to, is this actually about you, or is this about you going for status quo or any of those things? So why are you actually doing it? Do you feel it's going to be amazing for the globe? Do you think it's going to be amazing for a service that you're going to provide to people? So look at why are you actually doing that, but that will come after doing steps 1 and 2. Then step 4 is, how does it serve me by not doing it? Now you're going to go, that's really weird, because actually I want to do it. So what you're doing is you're centering your emotion and your balance, and you're coming to center and poise of actually being able to make decisions that are going to allow you to move forward. So how will it serve me to not do it? Okay. And then how will it serve others if I don't do it, if I'm not doing it? Okay. So we're looking at, how does it serve me? How does it serve others? Which will unlock the why you're doing it. Whoops. The why you're doing it. And then how will it serve me not to do it? And then how will it serve others if I don't do it? Okay, so that's your 5 steps, just your simple 5 steps. And then when you go to take action on it, and that just centers your emotion around making a decision. Then when you go to take action on it, you go, am I going to do this all myself, or do I need somebody else to come in and help me do this? And then you're going to take action. So there's actually 7 steps in that once you've got to that point of the 5. So I'm just going to give you an example of myself. Yesterday, I was in a little bit, well, actually I have been a little bit of discomfort to growth this past week over a few things. But one of the things is I went into discomfort because my daughter's leaving leaving home. She's going into her vision and mission that she's been focusing on for the last few years, and she leaves today for 3 years. So I looked at this discomfort, because I'm in discomfort, no tears right now. Let's just see how that goes. I looked at the purpose of this and I went, okay, so how does it serve me that my daughter's actually leaving? Because that's my discomfort zone. So I looked at, how does it serve me? So it's going to save me money. Clearly, by her not being here in my home, it's going to save me money. Food, electricity, those things. It also frees up my space to do things that I want to do that may not necessarily be on her journey, her path, that it just frees me up to do things and not have any uncomfortableness around the home. That sounds quite dodgy. It's possible for the dodgy ones on this call, it's not that dodgy, because I hear that in my voice. Now, so then the next one was, how does it serve others? So I look at this and I go, how does it serve my daughter that she's leaving home and I'm in discomfort? So it shows her, it serves her by showing that she actually has a purpose, and allows her to actually follow her dream. And I'm giving her, not that she needs my permission, but it's a permission from my heart, not from my head, to tell her, go do this. It's actually sees that I've given her my permission to follow her purpose, which is what I do for people, is just allow them to find their purpose and guide them to be the best, maximize the best they can possibly be. The other part of that is it also breaks the tie with me, so it allows her to function with people her own age, because I'm a single mother. So, you know, she's had me growing up and clearly all her life, who's 19. But it also allows her to connect with other people her own age and get different perspective on worldviews and what's really going on out there. So it breaks that tie with me to allow her to expand her vision and her mindset into other things. Then I looked at, how does it serve me not to have her leaving home? And the next two were actually quite an interesting one, because I looked at that and I went, oh gosh, now I have to find dog care because we have a dog. Now I have to find dog care, and also have to have somebody look after my home for me. So, you know, someone here for the dog and for that. So that's how it serves me not. Now, when I came to how does it serve others, meaning my daughter, I really struggled this one, and I only came up with one in the time that I was processing this. I will do more, clearly, because I'm a walk my talk kind of girl, and if I'm not, the people around me clearly pull me on that. Thank you. So how does it not serve me is that I'm not smothering her in love, because I do give her challenge and support, but I do tend to smother her because she is my baby, she is my one. So I tend to smother her in some areas and challenge her in others. So one of the things is, how does it not serve her, is that it actually, I'm not going to smother her in love, and she's going to get her love in the many form instead of her in the one. So they were my 4 examples that I just came up with, looking at one of the discomforts that came up because she's leaving in just over an hour. And I personally think I'm actually doing quite well as I justify myself for this one. So I'll just go back to these little steps again. I have to put them in front of me. How does it serve you for doing this discomfort? How does it serve others for doing this discomfort? Why? Why comes through this? What's the reason why, which will come through from the other 2? How does it serve you not to do it? And how does it serve others if you don't do it? And now that's your discomfort zone. And when you get to the other side of that, when you break through that, it actually doesn't take as long. That exercise I've written down, clearly do more than 2, actually doesn't take as long as what you think. And that's where you come to that breakthrough, that release, relief, that accomplishment, that sense of being, of who you are. And that's how you actually can work your way from discomfort to growth. So discomfort is a dark place or a grey place, or it can be anything, and it goes to growth, and it can be from any levels. So thank yourself for getting into that discomfort zone, because we don't want the grass growing underneath us and staying stagnant. The whole part about life is growing and evolving for who you are, learning your lessons and moving forward. So I trust that today's actually helped you break through a few little ideas. If you'd like to know anything more, send me a message, let me know. Thanks for joining me on the call. Next week, I'm talking about something else. I didn't look at the schedule. Whoops. Sorry to Alicia, my assistant, for that one. I will look at the schedule and be prepared for next week. But thank you for joining me today. If you've got any questions, please send me a message or drop them in this live, and I'll be on here on and off all day today. So thank you, everybody. Discomfort is going to hit me in 72 minutes. And I clearly need to do a little bit more work. So thank you, everybody. Trust you have a fulfilling Friday or Thursday if you're on the other side of the world. Thank you. And discomfort to growth. Rock on. Get that done. Stop wasting time. Thanks, people. See ya.